started off observing. She kept to herself her wording. She saw the need for a friend indeed to all those deserving. She travels the world through your eyes. She listens and sometimes cries. She wants to know what makes you whole and cares without disguise. According to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worries. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, according to Leanie, she welcomes you here. A laugh, a song, sometimes a tear. A friend, a foe, a stranger. Your life story, your moments of glory. You're sad, you're happy, your dreams and your worry. She wants to know the ins and outs of all of you here. According to Leanie, she wants to know what it is all about. According to Leanie, you're welcome here while we all just figure life out. So sit back and yak, smile and laugh, have a cup or two. Leanie is coming on right now, and she welcomes you. Let's hear life according to Leanie.
Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate it so much. Jay Badass is in the house. April, I have missed you. Think about you so much. I really do. I hope you're well, girlfriend. Lizzo, thank you for coming in. I know it's late for you, sister. Aussie True Crime, so good to see you. It's so good to see everybody. Do me a favor, just stop for a minute, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. It matters not to me. I don't think it matters to anybody. Just let the algorithm know that according to Leanie, actually is doing a live. So, yeah, just do that. Aloha, Sean. So good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Welcome to those that are just gonna hang out for a little while. Welcome to those that are here for the good long haul that we're going to be here because we've got quite a bit to go over. And welcome to those that are just going to sit up there and just listen. Thank you all for being here, no matter what your reason is. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the view. Peggy, so good to see you. Thank you for encouraging me to go live. I did plan on being live during the court hearing that was done today, and then I ended up just watching it. I just watched it, and then I was like, well, maybe everybody will get it out of the way and then have some time to think over it or whatever, and then we can view it together because it wasn't a long court case at all. Or court hearing today at all. And then maybe you guys like me have had time to gather some thoughts because I just want to say, like a lot of people I've talked to, I had no clue who Charlie Kirk, who he was. I had no idea. Now, I do remember seeing him, I think, during the elections at one point or another, but because I didn't know him, I think I just turned it, to be honest. When our elections happen, there are certain people we want to hear speak, and usually you kind of got to know them. So because I never even knew of his name, he wasn't someone I was interested in ever hearing speak. April says that she's followed him for years. Jay Badass says that she didn't either, but she did see him different age group. Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lizzo, for putting that in there. Listen, let me go on. There's quite a few mods in here, and I don't know how long the mods are going to be able to stick around or not stick around. But I want to say this. There's a reason why this is scrolling at the bottom, and I mean it 100%. 100% to every person that comes in here, that stays for just a second or stays through the whole thing. I am willing to have a conversation, an adult conversation. I am not willing to fight. I am not willing to start right away throwing out names of people who could be involved or whatever without. All I know right now is there's one man in custody, and from everything that I have seen, they've got the guy, and I believe that they've got the guy that shot him. Now, what you're going to be, probably those that know me, what you're going to be a little bit surprised, I think, about is that, not surprised that for 2 days I've done nothing but research, because that's what I do. But for 2 days I've been researching another way, because you see, my husband and my boys especially, they don't take things at face value. Just because the media says it, or even the president says it, or I say it, or it don't matter, y'all. My boys are not easily swung, even about buying a new couch. Okay, they're gonna research it. They're not taking your word for shit. And I'm a kind of a face value girl, but I also am a fact. Hi, RC. So good to see you. I'm fact driven. And RC, I'm so glad you're here. But my husband and my boys, they research differently than I do. They know, I can honestly say they're a lot smarter with this kind of stuff. They knew exactly who Charlie Kirk was. Nobody told me. Because it's not something I get into. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in my political views, but I'm not one to really talk about it. You know what I mean? Because truthfully, I know why I vote for someone. And sometimes it comes down to the lesser of two evils, to tell you the truth. I'm not registered in any way to vote. I actually research both sides, and there's nobody that I like 100%, and there's nobody that I don't like 100%. It's just, I have to, what is important to me, that is what I vote with. What I've researched about that person, and I vote with what I think is going to be the best candidate to bring forth the things that I feel like that are important to me that need to be brought forth. And I hope that's what everybody does. I don't think they do. But anyways, it's the same thing with this. So some people, you guys have even heard me call my kids or my boys and my husband a conspiracy theorist. I'm always like, tell them, shut the hell up, go away. RC, there's been things RC, I'm going to throw him under the bus real quick too, but you know, I don't think that RC's a conspiracy theorist, but I think him and Beefcake would get along great, because they have the same sort of mind in the way that they research stuff, and they don't look at anything at surface. And I think you guys have heard RC on panel to know that he thinks most of what's on surface is fog. You got to get past the fog to be able to see clearly. And I don't think he'll be mad at me for saying it. I think that represents him pretty well. Well, it represents my husband and my boys the same. And so, you know, I'm all out here like, that mother effer, and, you know, like looking at all the video that they have. And I have questions about that I want to bring up. Um, and then last night, you guys, I got a text from my husband. My husband, he's so fucking funny sometimes. He always says good night to me, and 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get a text when I'm in the living room and he's in the bed. And the text last night that he sent me, I was kind of blown away about. He said, well, I don't want to tell you exactly what he said. I'm going to let you have your own opinion, but he brought something to my attention because he wants me to look past the fog that he thinks is, he wants me to look past what this fog could be. Now, he doesn't know for sure. I don't know for sure. You don't know for sure if this was an organized or if it was just one person's vendetta. Okay. And I'm willing to discuss both. Understand me. Hi, Deets. Thank you for coming in. Cook us something good. I'm willing to discuss both because I feel like we're at the very beginning of this. I want to keep a very open mind. I am very saddened to have to even think about that there's corruption in our government. Y'all, you know about my picket fence. You know about that. I mean, it's being torn down. I've still got parts of it up, but little by little, things are coming out and my picket fence is being torn away, and I hate it. I hate it because I'm a true patriot, and I think everybody should be bleeding red, white, and blue, and everybody should be a patriot, no matter what side of the aisle you supposedly sit on. Be a patriot. America. That's who I am. So Beefcake sent me something last night, and he was like, I just want you to look into it. And that's all I have to say about it. And I know the reason why he did it, because if he'd showed it to me like in passing or us talking about this or whatever, I would have been like, shut the fuck up, because that's what comes out of my mouth when they start. But wait a second. Why are you just looking straight ahead? Why aren't you looking at what's around you? That's what these people tell me. Hi, Pat. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming in. So I think there was a reason for him doing it. So I did what he asked me to. I went straight to what he sent me. Y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, I was blown away. I was blown away. And the reason why I was blown away is because the person that he sent this from, I respect her as an individual and has her views. Some of you may have heard of her, some of you may haven't. I don't know. And I respect her enough to pay attention and to say, what girl, what you, because this girl has been known for whistleblowing and people, and I'm worried about her. I'm worried about her. And so we're going to talk about that. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing I watched that I was like, wait, what? I have to look around me instead of what's in front of me. I'm just going to show you some of her shorts. And I hope you will go listen to the last live that she did. It's about an hour and a half long. And I sat there, I think I was just drooling because my mouth had dropped so wide. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, J Badass Candace Owens. So with saying all of that, that is the reason why what is scrolling on the bottom of my screen is scrolling there. You're welcome to your views. You're absolutely welcome to your views. And you're and I don't have a problem that you talk about your views in here. other than I will not listen to not one person say it's a hoax, this man is alive, it's all a lie. If that's the way you think, exit right now before you get blocked. Seriously, because um this man is dead. He's a dead man. Okay. For whatever reason, I don't know yet. I'm open to all of it at this point. I'm looking around me, not just straight ahead. But do not come at me that this man is not dead and that it's a cover up for something else and whatever. No, I don't believe it. I don't have to believe it. I don't want to believe it. So please, I'm asking you, before you get blocked, this is your only warning. Do not come at me with that. Mods, if you see somebody come in here and say that this is all a lie, if they're pulling the Max Smith bullshit in here, they're to leave immediately and you will not be welcome back. You won't. It's disrespectful to the families. You have no proof. And frankly, it's disrespectful to a lot of people who love that man and to his legacy. And no, I'm not going to have it. The other thing is that I also have to be true to my faith. I am not when I say practicing my faith, I mean I am nowhere near close to God as what I know God wants me to be and even what I want to be. But I have a few rules that I always will follow. In this live, you're going to hear some talk about what's going on between Netanyahu and Candace Owens. That doesn't mean that you're going to come in here and start throwing anti-Semitism stuff in. I'm not going to allow it. I'm just not. This is controversial enough. Lunch lady, hello. I hope you are feeling better. Lunch lady had her procedure today, you guys. Make sure to lift her up in prayer for a quick healing. We love you, lunch lady. I will not allow any race or anything like it. No, we're not doing that here. We're not tearing apart a race. I'm just not doing it. Also, I believe the word says that the Jews are God's chosen people. I'm not saying that every Jew that walks this earth is going to heaven. I'm not saying that every Jew is got the hand of God on them or even believes in God. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Bible, if in my belief, what you believe is what you believe, but this is my channel and we're going by what I believe. What I believe is we are not supposed to go against Israel in any way. And I'm not going to sit here and down talk them. Facts are facts. Okay. Do I believe that every person that is over Israel is the person that God wants them to follow? No, not at all. People are people. People are people. But there's a reason why God put in his word that we are not to go against Israel. And I'm not doing it. And I'm not doing it in my real life. I'm not doing it on my channel. Just not going to do it. So if we're talking about a man, hear me now, because this is where I need you to understand. If we're talking about a man and you just don't like that man, you just don't like, let's say, Netanyahu, okay? That's talking about a man. That to me is not anti-Semitism. If you are talking about a nation as a whole, they all need to be wiped out. The Holocaust, the this, the that the Holocaust wasn't real, all that. I'm not putting up with that bullshit. I'm not doing it. That's bullshit in my eyes. And do that somewhere else. There's other channels that welcome it. Not here. Not here. Okay? So don't mistake the two. Talking about a single person or even 3 people that come from that country is not anti-Semitism. We're not talking about a nation. Do you know what I mean? That's like hating every Middle Eastern just because the towers blew up. No, I'm not doing that. That's like hating every white cop because George Floyd got killed. No, not jumping on that with you either. That's like hating every African American black man because some young beautiful girl, white girl, got killed on um, a train. No, I'm not going to do that either. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope I've made myself very clear with what I believe is anti-Semitism when it comes to the Israelis and my view on racism altogether. There's good people in the world and there's bad people in the world. And it doesn't matter where you come from, it's just what it is. Okay? All right. So as long as you can respect those things, stick around, enjoy chat, enjoy chat, put your feet up, grab you something hot to drink, get you some mojo going. Give me your best shot because I'm here to learn just like you. This case is so new. There's still stuff coming out every day. I'm willing to look past smoke screens. I'm willing to um, uh, explore the thought that this is bigger than one man, but there has to be a certain time in this whole thing. And believe me, I don't think this is going to trial for years and years and years upon years. But there has to be some kind of time where the conspiracy stops and the truth is clearly seen. And once I feel like, whether it be now or 10 years from now, I will not be here in 10 years, y'all. Let me explain that to you. Leanie will not be here in 10 years. Hopefully I'll still be on the earth, but I will not be on YouTube, okay? But whether it take me 10 years, once I feel like I've got enough of the facts, I'm going to let you know. I'm not entertaining the other bullshit until we work together and we're throwing in facts. We're using our noggins. We are critically thinking. We are, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going off of what our heart tells us or what we've heard on CNN or whatever. We're going to the court documents. We're getting into it. At that point, unless you can bring me something of evidentiary value, then I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to entertain it because I don't want to. So, having said all that, that's your only warning. Speak your piece, speak whatever you want to speak. Just don't tell me that this man is still alive and it's a cover-up. And do not say any kind of anti-Semitism or any kind of racial slurs towards any other race or even the American race. I'll get pissed off really fast. Jay Brad says, according to French theorists, the world is ending on the 23rd of this month anyways. Funny you should say that because I didn't have a discussion. Me and a friend was over in a chat and I was last night I was looking through a lot of that stuff and I was like, why are people saying this? Well, there's one person I know for a fact that can answer all those questions for me. And it's one of my mods, Lulu, and she wasn't in chat and I was so upset because I was like, I need these answers now because that's the type of person I am. Like, I want answers, you know what I mean? And so she wrote back, but I was already in bed, so I had to see it when she wrote back. So yes, people are saying the end of the world is on the 23rd. Now, what I'm saying is the Bible says that no man knows the time or the day. Are we living in the end times? I believe so, but I've also heard that my whole life. And just when you think things can't get worse, they do. I'm going to listen, so I'll be here resting my Frankenstein. All right, lunch lady, get you some rest, honey. Jamie says nobody needs to go to prison for what he did to her. That's all I'm saying. I agree 100%. 100%. I think somebody needs to be talking to the judge and find out why he was even on the streets. Sean says, I'm sorry that Charlie Kirk died, but everything is blown out so much that the DOJ wants hate speeches groups illegal. Well, that's something to talk about too. Melly Joe, hello, honey. Good to see you. Sean says, I think when the DOJ does that, it's going to be a big problem for America. JB, all right, I already read that, but you know, the world's coming. No man knows, amen. That's right. I think, like you said, Leanie, she let him go once that judge did. That's right. Somebody needs to answer for that. I mean, you know, that's a different case. That's a different case that I don't mind talking about that case either. But all right, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been going over this and have already probably heard everything that I'm going to show you on here. But for the ones that don't, that haven't, we're going to just go over some stuff. So let's pause for the calls. You guys hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I really don't care. Just let the algorithm know that you were participating in some way on this channel. I appreciate that so much. That's all I ask. It's free, cost you nothing, but just a snither of a second of your time. That's all I ask. If you're not subbed, you don't even have to sub. I won't even ask that of you. I ask you just to hit the thumbs up or thumbs down. If you hate me, hit the thumbs down. If you like me, hit the thumbs up. Just do something. Do something. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mods, keep your fingers handy because I've just got a feeling somebody's going to pop in here and say something really stupid, and I need you guys just to get rid of them. American people don't believe anything is real until they see it on television. Ronald Reagan. Wow. And that's still true for a lot of people today. That's true. But that's why, for me, it's not about that. Yeah, I see things on television, but I have to research. It drives me to research even more. And even then, you got to be careful. Researching isn't just going in one direction and bringing up, remember, the internet is made up of people's opinion. It's not always fact. The fact really is for you to decide. We could go right now and I could pull up a couple things where people will tell you, by God, I have seen Santa Claus and he is real. And then I could take you to another place on the internet that says Santa Claus is a myth. It's up to you that's why we got to use our noggin, our critical thinking. Do I believe that Americans, I can only speak for Americans. I'm sure it happens overseas too. Americans are gaslit big time by the media. The media does it on purpose. They do it on purpose. Listen, remember the old saying, even bad press is press, right? Even bad press is press. That's why a lot of, these celebrities in Hollywood, they have these fake stories that you would think would hurt somebody so bad it would hurt me, but those guys are made of steel. They do it because even though it's going to get bad press, it's still press, and it gets people talking about them, and then people get over there and they're just like, what the hell's going on? It's more views and likes, if you will. All right, what I want to do first is bring this up. RC, I don't know if you were going to feel like getting on panel at all, but let me know if you do at any point. I would love to talk to you a little bit about this. I want to bring up this first. Hold on just a second. I've got a couple things open up here, and I thought, I had it on my phone. I was just going to read it. That's why. Okay. I was like, what the hell? I just want to give you the real quick, take everything with a grain of salt. Yes, that's true. You don't hear that much anymore, but it's true. And Jamie does all her research too. I think it's wonderful. All right, I'm going to bring up the Wikipedia really quick, just because that's what I do. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to touch on the quick things about Charles James Kirk, who was born October 14th, 1993. He passed away on September the 10th, 2025. He was an American right-wing political activist, author, and media personality. He co-founded the conservative organization Turning Point USA in 2012 and was its executive director. He published a range of books and hosted the Charlie Kirk Show, a talk radio program. In his later years, he became recognized as one of the most important prominent voices of the MAGA movement in the Republican Party. All right, now we're just going to go down here because I want you to understand a little bit about where he comes from. Kirk was born and raised in the Chicago suburbs of Arlington Heights. Briefly attended Harper College before dropping out after one semester to pursue political activism full-time. He worked with various donors to fund TP USA, rising to prominence via college campuses, debates held at his signature Prove Me Wrong table. He extended TP USA's influence through initiatives such as Professor Watchlist, a mass rally aimed at young voters, and has been credited with general interest in political conservative amongst America's youth. And that is the truth, y'all. Beefcake explained it this way to me, that because I couldn't understand, I was like, who the hell is this guy? What is this guy? What's going on? Why are we forgetting 9/11? People die every day. Feel that? And I wasn't being disrespectful to anybody. I was trying to be respectful of 9/11. Well, the truth is most of the people who Charlie Kirk's life, from my understanding of it, is people that weren't alive during 9/11. There was a movement. There absolutely was a movement. And Beefcake said this. He said, look, he said, Charlie Kirk was the MLK to a lot of college students and younger in that generation. And then it made sense to me. All right. Let's keep going with this. Where was I? Under his leadership, TP USA developed several affiliate groups, including Turning Point Action and Turning Point Faith, with the latter aimed at mobilizing religious communities around the conservative issues. Initially critical of the evangelical right, Kirk later shifted into Christian nationalism, advocating a Christian form of government and Christian population. He sent buses of students to the rally that led to the January 6th United States Capitol attack, for which he pled the fifth before the January 6th committee. A key ally of Donald Trump, he espoused a variety of conservative stances, including opposition to abortion, gun control, DEI programs, and LGBT rights. His more controversial views included criticism of Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Martin Luther King Jr., his promotion of the COVID-19 information and false claims of the electoral fraud in 2020, and his opposition to immigration. On September 10th, 2025, as we all know, Kirk was shot and killed while speaking at a TPUSA public debate event on the Utah Valley University campus. His death gained international attention and led to the condemnation of the political voice by prominent domestic and international figures. President Trump announced that Kirk would posthumous, how do you say that word, y'all? Posthumously, post after death. Let me do that. After death, received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was raised by a father, Robert W. Kirk, who's an architect, and he was involved in the construction of the Trump Towers. His mother is Kimberly, and she's a former trader at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, who subsequently worked as a mental health counselor. Kirk later described his parents as moderate Republicans, and his father donated to Mitt Romney's 2012 political campaign. Raised in the Presbyterian Church, Kirk was a member of the Boy Scouts of America, and he earned the Eagle Scout. During his time in middle school, he read books by economist Milton Friedman, to which he attributed his political awakening. All right, so in 2010, during his junior year at Wheeling High School, Kirk volunteered for the U.S. Senate campaign of Illinois Republican Mark Kirk, of no relation. In his senior year, he created the campaign to reverse the price increase for cookies at his school. He wrote an essay for the Breitbart News alleging liberal bias in the high school textbooks. Pardon me, I got a cough. Sorry. He attended Carper College near Chicago, but dropped out after only one semester. All right, so let's go on to his life, personal life. In May 2021, Kirk married Erica Kirk, a businesswoman and podcaster who won the Miss Arizona USA pageant competition in 2012. The couple's first child was a daughter. She was born in 2022, and their second child is a son, and he was born in 2024. Y'all already know that he was very, very wealthy. And if you want to know more about, I think this is important to read. I've just got to read this part, you guys, because I think what I'm talking about with the anti-Semitism and things like that is going to be more understandable at this point. His religious views. Kirk was an evangelical Christian. Why can't I say that word? Belonging to the Calvary Chapel Association. Prior to the early 2020s, Kirk was described as secular and critic of religious influence on politics and state. Later, he became a Christian nationalist. In 2021, Kirk partnered with California pastor Rob McCoy to launch TPUSA Faith to mobilize conservative Christians to vote Republican. Kirk's shift was influenced by such events as Trump's move to the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem and COVID-era church closures, which he and his allies portrayed as religious persecution. Got a lot to say about that. Kirk advocated Christian creationism, arguing that evolution is false and that Charles Darwin has been debunked. He has discussed with Randy Guluza, the president of the Institute for Creation Research, their support for young earth creationalism on his podcast. His YouTube page includes footage of debate on this topic at Kirk's signature Prove Me Wrong table on campus. Speaking on a podcast episode with creationists, Stephen Meyer, Kirk said that he was intrigued by Meyer's argument that there was scientific confirmation for intelligent design contrary to Darwin. As a religious practice, Kirk said that he kept the Jewish Sabbath, considering it to be the commandment for Christians. A book written by Kirk titled Stop in the Name of God, Why Honoring the Sabbath Will Transform Your Life was to be released months after his death and became an after-death bestseller. All right, y'all could keep reading out about his life. I just wanted to touch the major parts. What I also found out about 10 minutes before I went live, you guys, that's not, I guess, not publicly known, not widely known, I guess, and it's being questioned, is he does have a younger sister. I have found on a few different places. By all account, he does have a younger sister who was raised in the home with him that still resides in the Chicago area. And in her young years, young meaning, impressionable years like junior high, high school kind of things, she shared a lot of his Christian views. And then as she got older, and she did get a college degree, her views are completely opposite from what I have read. Now, because I found that information like 10 minutes prior to me going live, I haven't been able to stalk her and really get out as much as I wanted to. But I did find that out. I read it on 3 different articles that I did trust, and it shows her picture and everything. So it says that she has never had any intentions of being on the public stage. It wasn't her thing. She does what she does and did what she did in a very private forum, and she just wasn't that loud. So I did not know until just a little while ago personally that he did have a younger sister. So just someone else to think about during all of this. Thank you, evangelical. I know that word. It's just sometimes when I'm reading, I get so like distracted, and then I'm reading, not distracted from the reading, but distracted in reading, meaning my eyes are already like at least 2, maybe 1 or 2 lines down, because I don't want to embarrass myself with words I can't say. And then I end up embarrassing myself anyway. So it is what it is. I've always been like that when I have to read out loud. I'm not a good out loud reader, but I do the best. I didn't, Jamie says she didn't know who he was until all this has happened. And she also says, yep, he's right. I believe that is why not many knew who he was, because he worked closely with the colleges. Right. Wow. Y'all listen, let's get check. Listen, I don't want to be here entertaining. I want to go through this together. Give me what you got. Say what you know, say what you think, and hopefully, I don't know how much time will pass before we can, get some real facts. I think we've got some facts in it. Enough. Well, what do you think? Did anybody watch the court hearing today? He was not actually in court. He was on Zoom. The judge was there, and it was a defense attorney, but he was not representing Tyler, the accused. He needs a court appointed attorney, because he doesn't have the money to pay for an attorney. I mean, who would? And then there was also the prosecution. So did anybody get to watch it? I have wondered how he didn't have a rifle when he jumped. Hi, Joni. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I think he did. And I think I didn't bring that video up, but I can. I think it absolutely does show him having a rifle. And I actually didn't see it until everything was slowed down for me, and I actually did see it. And I'll show it to you, and we'll see let me see what you think about this. Hold on. Can somebody, one of my mods, put in chat the fair use? Because this guy will go after me, but he says, hey, I can share it out. I actually saw this on Gray Hughes. Now, I'm not a big advocate for Gray Hughes, but I will tell you this about him. I think just watching him with Koberger, watching him with Delphi, and some of the other things, that his relationship with maps and timelines and putting that kind of stuff together, I think he missed his calling. I think he's good at it. The other shit that comes out of his mouth, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, but I think when it comes to the other stuff like the maps and timelines and things like that, I got to give the man some kudos for it. Got to give it to him. So I'm going to have to stop it here and there, you guys, because yes, he had a gun. So let me stop that right there. I don't give a damn. We're going to watch this, but I'm going to have to stop it like every 5 seconds because Gray will strike you. And I don't want to be struck, Gray. I'm just sharing your information, and you know you're a dickhead. So just stop, Gray, okay? You know you're mean, and you're condescending, and I could keep going on with the names if you want me to, but I think you're brilliant when it comes to math. Just quit being so mean and such an asshole. You have it going on. I mean, you're smart. You're a smart guy. It's just I can't listen to your voice. It gets fucking nerves. All right, let me share his screen. Thank you, Melly Joe. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I'm just using, don't come at me, Gray. Gray, don't come at me. I'm telling you right now, I will rock your world, and not in a good way, Gray. Don't try me, Gray. All right. I think it's brilliant what he's done here. And I'm going to take myself off. I'm going to ask that the mods really pay close attention in chat. And I'm going to make it bigger so you guys can see it, but pay attention. Yeah, it's Gray. Y'all tell Gray. It's only fair use, Gray. I'm promoting you. I got 1 or 2 nice things to say about you. The rest is trash. But it ain't like nothing you don't know, right? All right, let me make this as big as I can get it. So part of the stuff he's using is from TMZ. TMZ, we appreciate you putting out these videos that you did put out. It's titled "You Can See a Gun, Charlie Kirk Shooter." This is from Gray Hughes. This is his work again, you guys. It's not my work, but I do agree with the man. I agree with the man so far. All right. Thank you, Gray, for not coming at me and being mean to me. Here we go.
The leg. It's just keeping the movement pretty restricted because he's got the gun in his pants. So we have this TMZ video. Another thing I just wanted to bring up really quickly is this New York Post article right here, where it says Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin Tyler Robinson lived with transgender partner. And it's actually a Fox News source, Brooke Singman. Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin Tyler Robinson was living with a transgender partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female. A law enforcement source confirmed to the...
I want to stop it right there just a minute. Sorry about my dogs in the background, you guys. Listen. What I will say is this. If this is bigger than what what the smoke screen is in front of us, that if this is bigger than one shooter, and I'm first to say I just don't know yet, even though right now it's pointing to that. I do believe he is the shooter. I don't know if he worked alone or if somebody was getting money, or I don't know. But I will say this, and I want to be clear on my stance about this. If if this Tyler person acted alone and it was only him that couldn't control his problem, then yes, I think that you have to look at a man's life, and you have to look at what was the hate. Because listen, nobody's taken the life of somebody they like. You know what I mean? There's a hatred there. There's an evilness there, and so you have to look at their life that would go against whatever the person is talking about that they ended up murdering. If this was done by a larger organization using this shooter, then I think we take whatever his sexuality is out of the picture. You know what I mean? So right now, for me, I don't want to just focus on, oh, he was a gay guy and he was living with a transgender and this. I saw an article, guys, that actually said, oh my God, he was kissing someone. He was kissing him. I'm like, the fuck? Okay, isn't that what people do when you're in love with someone? They kiss? Y'all don't. Anyway, please understand me. Anyways, when people are just grabbing onto, okay, this is the reason why this guy did it, because he was transgender and Charlie spoke against it, because he believed Charlie was a hater, because he spoke against it, because he felt totally judged by Charlie's ministry. You know what I mean? It's there, yes. But am I saying that that's what happened? I don't know. That's where we all come together. Okay? So just because Gray is saying that, I just want it clear that that's not my take on this. I don't know where this came from yet. I don't know if there is higher people in higher areas that talk this kid into something. Or I don't know. Neither do you, really. So let's just get, I wanted to make that abundantly clear. All right. I got to go back over here. Okay.
Post Saturday. That individual, who has yet to be publicly identified by authorities, is now fully cooperating with the FBI on its investigation into the fatal shooting of the conservative activist.
All right, you guys, I'm going to fast forward to this part. Let me go back to StreamYard, make sure you can hear me. Yeah, I'm going to fast forward to this part. I just want to get to the part where he is doing his, what he believes, that he had a gun. That's what this is about, okay? Here we go.
Shooter. So that's something that I was wondering. Why would the shooter communicate with his roommate so openly about what he did, unless that roommate was part of a conversation prior? I mean, he was talking about like, oh yeah, I threw the gun, the ditch point or whatever the hell.
This was made a couple of days ago, guys. We do know from today's hearing and from the presser that was put out that the conversation that Gray was just talking about, from what him reading that, was before we knew when the shooter spoke to his roommate. Okay. It all came out that, so when Gray was talking about this, it looks like he was talking to him prior, in the middle of it or whatever. We know now that supposedly the roommate found out about it, and he had that conversation with the roommate after the fact. In fact, after he had already disposed of the gun.
Term was, he threw it in the woods over there, and then he needs to go out and monitor if anybody's found it yet. And, all kinds of different communications So I'm sort of wondering if this roommate had a little bit more knowledge to what was going on, almost as if it was continuing a conversation. I guess I'd have to see the text messages to realize that. But obviously, the roommate isn't the shooter, but maybe they were part of some other aspect of it or help gin up the sentiment of the shooter towards killing Charlie Kirk. We know that the media.
Again, I'm going to fast forward this because that's his take on it, and that's for his channel, not for mine. All right, here we go.
I think it might be going down the back of his leg. In fact, I'm almost certain of it. And it's probably just past where his knee bends. All right, so he struggles to bend it, but he does bend his knee. All right, so let's just watch. I mean, we can do it in slow motion. Let's do it. Let's pause it and slow it down. Watch. See, his right leg is where the weapon would be, and it bends. It's just not bending as anywhere near what his left leg can do. See that right there? That's probably like the maximum bend. So you can't lift it off the ground very high. And notice he doesn't swing it very far forward because the barrel of the gun is against his butt, and that creates a barrier where his leg can't swing forward. His thigh can't move forward where he can then swing his leg out further, so it's like he has to stop.
Just to stop it again so Gray doesn't kick my ass. I believe what he says here. If you look at it again, I don't know if he'll show it again, but if you notice where his hand is resting, just back it up just a minute. Notice where his hand that's facing the camera is resting. It's kind of like he's holding his pants or something there. I totally believe also that the weapon is inside of his pants.
His butt, and that creates a barrier where his leg can't swing forward. His thigh can't move forward where he can then swing his leg out further, so it's like he has to stop, plant it, and then move forward. And that's exactly what's happening here. Notice how right here, let's just watch it like this. Let's back it up. Look at his left leg, how it swings out and then he plants. His right leg has to stop moving right there. See that? And then he plants it because he can't swing it any further. It's being constricted by a gun behind his leg. And I would imagine that the barrel of the gun is going down the leg and the butt is up above, and the backpack is sort of hiding the fact that it would be sort of bulging out the back of his shirt. All right. So we have that. And then after that, we have him moving through the building. And we have this shot right here. That right there is his cell phone. And notice how he's still having to use his left leg to make it down each step. But all he has to do now is plant the left leg there and then slide the right leg down to the next step and let himself down. It's absolutely how you would do it if you had a cast on or something like that. It would be the same way. You just let yourself down the stairs. Now, there's questions out there that people ask. I mean, if I had $1 for every time somebody goes, "Where's the gun, Gray? Where's the gun?" They just keep over and over and over, and they keep telling me that he didn't break it down. I agree with you. He didn't break down a rifle. I was just speculating. I didn't say he definitely.
Can you guys see my cursor? Let me look over in StreamYard real quick. Can you guys see this? Fair use is permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you so much for putting that in, Melly. I want to show you guys something. I wish I could bring this picture up and make it bigger, but I can't because I'm on his channel. If you look right here, so I do believe that the gun is in this side of his pants. But if you look right here, it makes me wonder, is this part of the weapon right here? You see it kind of, there's like a kind of a bulge right here, just a dot, but then it kind of goes up and messes like somewhere right here. Is the butt end down? the part that you would hold against your chest when you're shooting and the barrel up. I don't know. That would make more sense, easier to conceal because your pants leg down here's got more room in it to put the butt in down here and then have it. I mean, you better make sure it's empty, right? But listen, I know it's a 22-year-old kid. I know it's a 22-year-old kid, and you wonder, how could a 22-year-old kid, one bullet with one bullet. Listen, at 22 years old, my kid could shoot from 600 yards and level a deer or ground a deer, whatever you say it. And put it exactly where he wants it, not blow his stomach out. Some kids, we know that the gun came from his grandfather, right? It was a gift from his grandfather. So obviously, and we've seen the pictures out there, right? Which his mom holding certain weapons, him holding certain weapons, pardon me. Apparently he was raised around this kind of stuff. And they're like it, or whether you're for gun control, you hate gun control, whatever. It's a part of our reality. There are kids out there that are being raised with this stuff, and they know how to use them at a very, very young age. So for me, I'm looking at this like the butt is going to be down in here, and it's going up, and it's coming not here where his fly is, but it's going up kind of next to his phone. I agree that's a phone. And then the pointer part of it, the end of it where the bullet comes out, I think is pointing up. That only makes logical sense to me. All right, I could be wrong, but does it matter? I don't know if it matters. Let's keep going.
Broke something down. I'm just saying that I think that he, I thought maybe he broke down the rifle, but he definitely has a rifle with him. And we'll go over that here in a minute. So someone else commented, so why is there a camera in the tunnel? Who took?
I'm going to fast forward that because that's all Gray's people. We don't need to know that. Where he is walking into is a tunnel, you guys. It's an underground tunnel. I think I don't have to answer Gray's people, but I think it's funny that you would ask who would have a camera in a tunnel. Shit, in today's world, we better have a camera in every damn tunnel. Fuck shit happens all the time. So I'm just going to fast forward through this part that's just Gray thinking.
He's right over in this spot right here. This is where the tunnel is. So on the surveillance camera, you see him walking from right here. This is the house with the camera. He walks this direction. And in the probable cause, it makes it sound like he kind of goes, maybe he walks up here and then down, or they might be referring to this. And like he goes south through this grass here and then goes through this tunnel. And then we have various shots of him inside the building. I wouldn't be surprised if this is right after he goes down the tunnel. Then we have him going up some stairs here. I don't know. I think this is just a light colored patch on his pants and his leg still kind of trailing behind. This is his left leg that's lifting him up onto each of the steps. Here he is again. And then when you look at that, it looks like the back of that pant leg.
See, I don't know. I hope you guys can see my cursor, but exactly what we're talking about right down here. There's something right here, and I don't think that's going to be the muzzle. That's definitely bigger. It's a thing, and there's enough room down here for the butt of that rifle to be down here. All right.
It's kind of sticking out a little bit. Don't really know. It's hard to tell from that angle. Very clear picture though. And then we look at this photo. Now this one here is one that's interesting to me because here's the right leg, and see how there's something kind of sticking out back here? That little sort of dimple poking out. I wonder if that's sort of like the sight at the end of the barrel, something like that. But it's definitely down the back of his leg here. And he's just using, and I think it's just the barrel down his legs And then maybe it goes underneath there. That's his backpack hanging down. So it's definitely hiding the fact that there's something underneath there. And I think the scope is inside of the backpack. All right. So I think you can actually there is some evidence here that he's got that item in his pants here. And we know it's in his pants because he hasn't taken the gun out yet, or you'd see it in this video. He comes up at a certain point. I think it's 12:15 that he shows up right here. So it's not really that far. So from right here, he got to there, and that, he got in that position probably in about 15 or 20 minutes. Let's take a look at this. It says at 12.
I'm going to fast forward all that because that's his way of thinking. I'm into. And that's what Gray does, you guys. That's what he does. He looks at all these documents. He looks at time frames. He puts them into maps, and then he maps it out how long on foot it takes to get from A to Z, and then how long it would take a car to get from A to 3 or whatever. And I mean, I think he's pretty brilliant at it. I do. So that's why I like looking at his map, the work that he does with maps. I think he's brilliant at it.
So then at 12:22, he stood up right here and he ran all the way over here. And then he laid down, and apparently he sort of shimmied his way over because if you can see, you can't really see where Charlie Kirk was from a little bit further over. So he shimmied his way over near the edge. And then at 12:23, he fires the weapon and it hits Kirk. He immediately gets up and runs with the weapon in his hand, and he runs around like this, and then down, and we see him on the camera lay the rifle right there, and then he takes his right leg and he keeps it up there, and his left leg kind of comes down and stands on the ledge there. Then he puts his right leg down there, grabs the rifle, and then jumps off. We'll watch that right now. And here it is. You can see him way at the top of the screen up there. See that? He's running, and I'm going to go right here, and you can literally see him running through the building too. All right, that's pretty interesting. Like if you watch this, you can see him running through the glass there. Watch. So look back here. See that? Yeah, and so what we're looking at right here is there's a camera on this building. I've shown this in other videos, but right here on this building, if you go down to right there and you look up in the air, there's the camera. See that? That camera right there is filming 360-degree the entire area. So that's what we're watching when we're observing what's happening with the shooter, etc. So this camera right here is able to show him walking around, go into this building here. We haven't seen that footage yet, but he obviously goes into the building. And then you can even see him on that camera going up these stairs. You can see him make his way to right here and step over. I mean, they're able to watch the entire thing using that camera. And then, as I said earlier, he ran across over to here. And then when we look at that camera, you can even see this area, etc. So,
all right, let me stop it right there for a second so he doesn't. Gray is using other people's videos anyway. Yeah, probably. Looks like the stock. I thought that first too. I don't think about the gun being in his pants when he jumps. Okay, he's not in. It's not in his pants. And I couldn't figure it out either until. Honestly, I don't know how to slow down footage. I could sit here all day and look at this shit. I don't know how to slow down footage like Gray does. So when I saw him come out with this, I think it was 2 days ago, I was like, all right, he'll slow it down. I'll be able to figure out. But once he slowed it down for me, plain as day. At least it was for me. All right, he's fixing to show you guys exactly the gun in the video.
when we take a look at that area is right there. See that? And then that means the shooter was right back there, right in this corner when he shot Kirk. And then now he's running away from the scene, and he's got a rifle. What he did was he wrapped the gun in a black towel right before he was running. So let's just play that little last part again. and it zooms in on itself. So there you go. So this part's interesting. Let's just do this frame by frame. You'll see it.
Y'all get close.
All right, hopefully you guys can see this well. I'm going to make this smaller, kind of zoom in about like this is pretty good. So look, right there, he's got the gun right here, the gun and the towel wrapped up. Now people say, look how small it is, but it isn't. See, the camera angle here is probably, I guess if we go up into the sky here and take a look at Google Earth, we can get the camera angle. So the camera is right here and the angle is right there. See that? So I would say that that is probably like 20 degrees, 20 something degrees to the building. So unless he's holding the gun perpendicular to the camera, you're not going to see how long it might be. I think he's holding it away from the camera so it looks shorter. So if you look at the, back to this again, see, it's not perpendicular. And so even if it's at the same angle as the roof, the gun's going to appear shorter. But let's say it's slightly counterclockwise to parallel.
To me, it's definitely a gun. A towel is not going to lay sideways like this with stuff coming down. I think this is the towel coming off the gun, and the gun is a solid piece, so it's not going to flap over to the sides or anything. And the police have told us that they found a black towel with the gun. And if we go back, and I think Gray will, you could, when you see him running, there's a spot that he's running that he stops it at, and you could see him with, it looks like the gun like over his shoulder with the muzzle part sticking upward. And then like when he gets behind the building, he would swing it down and start trying to, while he's running, wrap the damn towel around it. That's just what I see. But I've watched this over and over.
To the edge of the roof, it's going to look shorter, but you see him right here put a towel and something sort of heavy in the towel on the ground, right? Now he's still holding that with his left hand. He puts his left leg on a ledge and his right leg's still up on there. Then he lowers his left leg even further.
There it is.
And it looks like he sort of steps down first, maybe his right leg kind of hits first on that ledge. And he reaches up with his right hand. And look at right there, you guys. Can't you see it?
Yeah, so if this was a towel, it's not going to be able to be this stiff and hold it for even as quickly as he's coming off there. It's I believe it to be the gun.
And that's the gun. Look. That's not his arm or anything. Look, he's grabbing the gun and it sort of swings up there. That's the gun. And it's in his hand now. This is the gun right here. You can see how long it looks. And then he swings it down. And again, there's the gun right there. Swings it down. And then he gets ready to jump. And then he jumps down and it's in his hand. Now that's the gun right there. And watch, we'll just go forward. And right there, you can see it. It looks like it's, I don't know if that's the full gun right there, but you can see something changed in the image. He's dropping down. And as he's coming down, he hits the ground, and then his glasses apparently fall off. According to somebody in the chat, it looks about right, because right here he turns around, picks them up, and he's sort of struggling to hold the gun, get away, and put his glasses on his head at the same time. So look at him. He's now running with the rifle and the black towel, and there it is hanging behind him. So whenever you see something sort of dangling back there, that's the towel. Now that's easier to see, but it could be that you can't see oftentimes the barrel because the video is so pixelated and it's not very clear. But look right there. You see that? There's a line that goes down right there. I think that very well could be the actual barrel of the gun in that shot. And the thing is, this video is only like 3 to 5 frames a second, which is absolutely terrible. Video is normally 30 frames a second and allows you to go frame by frame. Now watch. So let's just stop on a frame and I'll count. So there's a one that where it stops, right? There it is. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 frames over to the right is finally when there's another detected movement on this video. So that means the...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to stop it again because if I don't, Gray's going to get my ass. Melly Joe, I see it now. Jay Brad, Jamie, April. Okay, gotcha. Sean, hey, everybody. Just want to mention that Robert Redford passed away today. Yeah, I saw that. Rest in peace, Robert. He was 89 years old, you guys. He lived a great life. I mean, that's a long time to live. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. All right, let's finish watching this. Where do I click it? There.
Surveillance footage is not 30 frames a second. It's like 3 to 4, because then it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That time it was 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's crazy. That's why it's sort of choppy looking. So now I'm holding it down. And you can see he's carrying something. And the thing is, it could be sort of facing towards us where we don't get to see the profile of how long it is. All right, so now I got to zoom out and see what this does because they zoom in whenever they feel like it. Okay, so let's go into there. Now we can sort of watch this and let's see if we can see anything. Yeah, I mean, okay, I think that's a great example right here.
Yeah.
See, right here, he's got the gun wrapped in the
Yep, his
black
arms
towel.
cannot be that long.
He's not a lobster human with large pinchers at the end of his, hands there, right? So you can see his hand's probably in there, and he's holding the rifle there almost like a soldier would, just for just a brief moment as he's wrapping it up.
Right.
All right, and then now you can see the loose towel around the end of it. He's really just trying to he's struggling with it. He's trying to get control of hiding the weapon with the black towel.
Yeah, because if you guys imagine, I mean, we're watching this in slow time. I mean, he's running like a bat out of hell, you guys. Imagine him running. You've got this long ass rifle with you, and you got this towel, and somehow you got to make it all work,
So there it is, swinging behind him now. See that? Right there. I mean, you get these comments in here. Let's just show these. Watch.
Nobody cares, Gray.
Please tell me where is the gun? Like someone else said he
Gray, nobody cares about your shit. Come on. Come on, Gray. Get back to what you're doing good. This is what you do good, Gray. Right here. Listen to me. I will be your PR.
I mean, look right there. You see that?
Yep.
That's his right leg, left leg, and something really long right there wrapped in a towel. So right now it's near his left side. See right there? You can see it right here. There's the weapon. And then he goes around the corner. I hope you guys watch this and you just realize that he does have one. I don't want to keep hearing more like, well, Gray, what about? And
Gray, nobody
so
cares
obvious.
about your bullshit. Shut the fuck
this
up.
is what I'm talking about. People
Nobody
want
cares.
it to be a conspiracy.
No.
So this is interesting right here. You can see right there. That's the gun, I believe.
Yep, there's the gun, I believe, too.
One of these three objects
All
is
right.
the gun. See, there's three different.
Oh, shoot fire. I don't know where I just went. Okay. So there we go. There we go. Aussie True Crime, welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so much. Listen, like I said, Gray Hughes is not one of my favorite people. I'm sure he doesn't even know I exist. But the man is brilliant when it comes to putting together maps and putting together timelines and shit. Yeah, and maybe if he wasn't such a dick, he'd have a job. All right, so we have all of that out of the way. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're staying with me. Let's pause for the cause. You guys hit the thumbs up, the thumbs down. Let's do that. The next thing that I want to look at, I want to look at just what happened in court today. And then we're gonna watch something really interesting together. Let's do this first. Again, you guys, this is not my work. This is out of Fox 4 KDFW News. It is their work, and I appreciate you letting us use it because it's just for fair use. We're just trying to learn about this case too, so don't come at me. I appreciate it so much. Your comments aren't coming through. Really? That happened to me one day. I think it was in Lizzo's. I was like, how come half my comments aren't coming through? All right, let's watch this, and then we're going to get to something that I feel is really, really interesting. Let's listen to the court case. This one I don't have to stop, so I'm going to play it on 1.5 speed so we can get through it. It was a quick court case. I was utterly shocked. You actually hear him talk. He says his name. And I don't know why I'm always shocked the first time I see someone in court. After I already know what they look like, but it's like that kind of shock, like, oh God, there he is right there, like staring right at us. That's what it feels like to me. Well, quit cussing so much, Jay Bread. Kidding. All right, let me get myself off of here. I'll make this as big as I can see it. We'll do it on 1.25 so we can watch it quicker, because the next thing I think we're going to find very much more interesting even than this. But oh my God, you guys, when you see this dude. All right, let's see. Stop it. Just a minute. Look at him. Bruh.
Conclusion of the hearing, the first.
Oh, sorry about your ears.
Conclusion of the. I will be handling the first appearance calendar today. At the conclusion of the.
I'm going to back it up there.
Good afternoon. My name is Judge Graff. I will be handling the first appearance calendar today. At the conclusion of the hearing, at the conclusion of the hearing for the first case, the court will take a recess and remind all those who are scheduled for the first appearance calendar to log back in 15 minutes after the court has taken a recess.
Y'all, this is just 12 minutes through, so I'm going to put it on 1.25, so it'll be about 8 minutes. But I have to say this, you guys. Y'all, he's pretty cut. I mean, look at his arms. I mean, he looks like a strong kind of dude that could. How long has he been slinging? Y'all, because I have held a rifle before. I don't know what kinds. I don't know what is what and what's what. But and some of them are so freaking heavy. And I thought, okay, this kid ran with the damn rifle all the way there, all the way there, all the way over there. But he looks like he can handle that, because I'm telling you, with just his little "I'm gonna kill myself" vest on, he's homegrown. He's okay. He's all right. All right, let me find where I can speed this up while y'all are listening.
As a general note, no electronic usage is allowed unless pre-approved. Any disruptions will be removed. To the jail, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance.
Did y'all hear him speak his name? That's the first time I've heard his voice, was earlier today. Who the hell does he think he is speaking up like that? He needs to be more meek. This guy's not meek, you guys. He's saying it loud and proud. All right, I'm going to shut the hell up.
Not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
for indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor, Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently within the last few minutes a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grunander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, discharged the firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm, and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information.
Okay, my sound's back on. I just have to stop this just 1 second. For all of the disgusting court cases and disgusting individuals that you have seen come to their court appearances, y'all, this guy right here, his face isn't changing. He's like, he's flexing. He's like, y'all, I know I did it. I know I did it. And what? And what now? I'm telling you, it's just, I guess going from looking at Koberger on the screen to looking at this face, it's like, wait, what? I mean, this guy looks like he knows what the hell he's doing. I don't know. It's just I'm mind boggled. I'm mind boggled. All right, let me shut up.
To wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police question the roommate.
2-minute warning.
Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3a little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, yeah, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Granger, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
All right, you guys. I have something to say though. I'm not going to show it again. If you want to go back and watch it, and you can get closer to the screen or just make him bigger on your screen, his eyes were like shutting really slowly and opening up slowly. So I don't know if he's on some kind of sedative or not. It has been reported in the news, and it has been reported by law enforcement that he told, well, first it came out right that his father is the one that called the mom, and the father's the one that got all this going. That's not what the officials came out and said finally. And listen, I want to be the first to give all the officials and old Cash Gupta or Patel, no, that was mean, I'm sorry. Disrespectful of me. Cash Patel, leader of the FBI, I want to say I appreciate, after everything that we've been through Delphi and through Idaho 4, the whole thing of not coming right out and showing your hand right away is part of the reason why I think that they got the guy so quickly. I think that what Idaho taught us and Delphi, Indiana taught us was that sometimes it's just not a good idea to do any kind of stealing of evidence and holding back the cops' hands and stuff like that. Why? Because first of all, when you do that, it makes us wonder, what the hell are you hiding? I mean, there's still people out there that believe that Richard Allen didn't kill them girls. And there are people that still believe that Koberger is innocent sitting in jail. Well, I can't very well blame them because there was so much secrecy surrounded by that. Listen, I say put it out there. Just put if you ain't got nothing to worry about, put your shit out there. You're going to get someone's going to turn them in. Listen, and another thing, putting a reward up that quick, just in case old mama and daddy don't want to bring their baby boy to justice, is going to talk much. Y'all, money talks. You know that as well as I do. So, A, putting all your shit out there that you got, and second, putting a reward on it right away. That's why we're sitting where we're sitting. We just got to figure out the back parts of it now, right? I'm wheezing. Sorry about that. Anyhow, the FBI did come out, and I do have it up. I might play it in a little while. Just depends on who wants to listen to it, or if you guys are done with me for the day. When they gave their presser today, they talked about how the mother is the one that saw the picture and called her husband and said, we got a problem. I'm sure it didn't come out like that, but that sounds like something I would have said. No, she said, I think he looks like Tyler. And then from there, things unfolded, right? And apparently he had told his mom or his dad or both or whatever, or the roommate. I'm calling the roommate. I mean, I don't know what he is, what their affiliation is. I don't really care. Told one of them that he couldn't go to jail. He just wanted to die. So I'm not surprised that he's wearing the unalive suit, which is what you guys see him wearing. And I would not be surprised if he was sedated, especially if he is having some kind of thoughts of hurting himself or not wanting to live or whatever. Believe you me, I mean, if I was guilty of something like this, I think that's where my mind would be at as well. So if you look at it later, pay attention to his eyes. When the judge calls his name, it's like perk. He perks right up. His eyes open even larger. He's shaking his head yes to agree with the judge, when his time is set for. He looks over at the other, like the other camera or the other video that's playing in front of him of one of the prosecutors, by the way, that has five people are going to be doing this case. And so you see that happen, but then like he kind of goes back into that really relaxed state, and then his eyes start to open and close very slowly again. No, he can't be drugged in court, but he could absolutely have some kind of medication that's given to him that's making him tired. I mean, those are legal. That's legal. You do it to people all the time. I've seen a video somewhere of it, whether it was true or not sure. I just want him to stop getting in trouble. My son gets out to, oh wow, Jamie, I didn't see that. So your son gets out tomorrow. We need to pray for him. He has to be of sound mind in court, though. I understand that, but there's a lot of people that have to be not sedated to the point that they can understand what's going on around him, but yeah, make him tired. And then who knows how much sleep he's getting. I don't know. I'm just saying what I see, and you guys can look at it and tell me what you think about it as well. The other thing I want to point out here is a lot of people thought that this was, and even asked the question many times, including reporters were asking, is this going to be a federal crime? Is it going to be, because the FBI came in, right, and they did the investigation on it. When you saw the seal in the background, it's Utah State. So he is not being tried in a federal court. What we have to remember with this is that he, by all account, was a great person. He did a lot of great things. People looked up to him, but he was not an elected official. So, yes, the FBI helps with quite a few different crimes, and this is one that they helped with and took over. I think it's, if you ask me, I think they were called in right away because of who he was and what part. I'm calling it as I see it. I could be wrong. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you how I feel, and my feelings could be wrong. As of right now, if he was out there and talking about his love for the opposition and love for things that was opposite of what Charlie Kirk taught, would the FBI have come in as quickly? Maybe not. He was a good friend of the president. But being a good friend of the president does not give you the right, or give the government the right to try. You know, this was not a terrorist attack. It was not, I guess they're not even calling it a hate crime. I think if they could call it a hate crime, that, and that's not what he's being charged with right now. If they could, I think it would go to federal court. I, for one, am really glad that it's not going to federal court, because no federal court cases are televised. So there's that. So right now it's the state of Utah that's prosecuting him. All right, so now we know what all he's been accused of. You guys know, I believe, just by the video that has been shown, by the evidence that has been given so far that the police have collected. Now, I will say this. There was a screwdriver found at the scene, up on the roof. How he forgot it, I don't know. I'm guessing that's to put the scope on, because I was like, what the fuck did he need a screwdriver for? Then I thought about it. To put the scope on the rifle, he would need a screwdriver. Screwdriver was left on the building. That has his DNA on it. The where he comes down off of the building, that has his DNA on it. There's plenty of DNA. All right, it's him. All right, we see him up there. What we don't have yet is DNA on the weapon yet, because the weapon and I think the towel, at least I think it was just the weapon. The weapon itself was turned over to the a different department. What is it called, JB? I think JB knows what I'm talking about. It wasn't just the police department that took all of the DNA and swabs and all that off of the stuff that was left at the scene. When it comes to, I think it was ATF took it or whatever. Anyways, that's in a different, that hasn't come back yet with anybody's fingerprints on it because we don't have it back yet. Okay. So Cash Patel put that out. That came straight from the FBI's mouth, that they don't have any DNA off the weapon yet because that has been turned over to a different facility and a different agency, and they do that. It takes a little bit longer to do that. But if you know anything about the text messages that went between Tyler and the roommate, it's one thing Tyler talks about was retrieving where he put the weapon at, and worried that the weapon was going to have DNA on it. It was FBI and ATF takes the guns. Right. That's it. Thank you so much. All federal. FBI plane was ready to fly, evidence to Quantico. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. That's right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So knowing everything that we know, I believe you guys are welcome to give me your own thoughts on this. I believe we have enough evidence to say, yes, he was the shooter. Now, do I know if he acted alone or did Charlie have some real enemies out there? I think we have to look at it, right? But they seem to have handed it to the state. Yeah, but the weapon is with the ATF. I remember Cash Patel saying that. And I think it is in Quantico. And all the other stuff was tested right there locally. I think Charlie had a bunch of enemies too, and that's where I want to bring us right now. Listen, if we're going to make some kind of judgment or try to understand this, then I think we have to look at all parts. And that's why I want to bring this up. I'm not going to show you the whole live of Candace Owens. That's her work. That's her channel. I don't want to sit through it again. I sat through it last night with my mouth open. But I will show you a few of her shorts, hopefully to give you enough knowledge of what her live was about and what she believes happened to her friend. She was a friend of his, not just an acquaintance. They were actually friends. She did like a 48-minute live on videos and text messages of them two together and all this other stuff and whatever. But the last one she did, I think it was last night or the night before, she brings up a lot of other stuff, and I think it's important to at least hear her out. Candace Owens is known for being a whistleblower, and I don't agree with everything Candace Owens says, but I do defend her right to say it, and I do like that she is a whistleblower. I dig it. Because there's too many lies, too many lies out there. But all I'm going to say is she knows that with the live that she did, she definitely put some people on her back, and it's scary. I don't think I could have done it. I don't know that I would have done it. I don't think I would have put my life in that big of a that big of a space that I could be taken away from my family. So these right here, you guys, are just shorts of hers, and I'm gonna do a couple of these because maybe it'll get you. I'm not promoting her in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that there are things that she knows, and if it is bigger than just one person, we need to know that. As the American people, we need to know that. So let me make sure to get her big, get me off here, go back over there. Yes, she does live in London. Yes, or somewhere over there. Yeah, she does. She's married to an English man who's actually a preacher, or a minister, or a Catholic priest. I think he's a Catholic priest. I guess they're all not the same. But anyways, so let's bring up a couple of things that Candace had to say here. This is where she starts it. I remember the beginning of it, so I'm going to play this.
I didn't know what to do other than to scroll through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them, and kept going back and watching the many videos of us dancing to the song Power, and it felt appropriate to reach out to Ye, speaking about things, talking about his mode when he wrote the song. You know, when you wrote the song Power, why did we have it as our hype song? Because the song is about the ability to find it within yourself to become what you know you are capable of becoming inside of a matrix, when you just realize everything is dishonest, that everything is performative, that people are dishonest, that they are going to try to stop you from being great. In fact, it's the end of the song, the question that he asks at the end of the song, that's the most important. Ye asks, do you have the power to let power go? Do you have the power to say no to power? You know, I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry. And I found, Charlie's favorite portion of the song. I'll show you the text between him and I, because this feels very relevant right now. This is, again, lyrics directly from the song Power, but I just needed time alone with my own thoughts, got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me. Taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities that they entrusted me. And that's a moment where he is really speaking about how hard it is. Like when you're saying, no, this is what I believe. And they say, you're not allowed to believe that. You feel like you are fighting for custody of yourself. And I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And there are lies that are being told and they need to be slapped down right now. I didn't know what to do other than to scroll.
All right. We're going to talk about that. Now, listen, I mean, she has shown receipts. She has showed many things about how close exactly she was to Charlie. This is what I want to say. First, I want to keep it in mind that maybe Charlie was going through some kind of spiritual awakening or difference, and we all change over time. Our lives are such, we're always evolving. What we believed at 20 years old, oh my God, do you guys ever look back and go, you stupid fucker? You believe that? You know what I mean? Like, we're always evolving. They say, I remember my mom telling me that a woman changes every 6 to 7 years, not only just in her body, in her mind, in her thoughts, in her feelings. something happens to us. She didn't say men. She said, I can only speak as a woman. She said, every 6 to 7 years, she said, we go through this purging and then something else becomes more of value and you just purge through it. And I believe that I found that to be true. It's very possible. Here's what I have gleaned from watching Candace's episode of this. And I'm not just talking about this. These are just excerpts from her lives. Okay. Hi, Lolly. Good to see you. Charlie's wife, of course, I went and did some research after I had heard this. Charlie's wife, by all account, is of the Catholic faith. I don't know if she's raised Catholic, if she's still practicing Catholic, I don't know. So Charlie was raised, as we've read, and started his ministry and started his company on the evangelical Christian belief. When he was, how old? What did they say? I don't remember how old now. Very, very young. Of course, like I said, we're always evolving. Just because us women do it doesn't mean that men don't do it too. So it is, what she's saying is quite possible that at this stage in Charlie's life, what he was teaching and preaching was not something that he necessarily wanted to do, but he owes people money. That's the business that makes him money. It would be a very hard life for him if he decided to change from that belief system of being a Christian over to being a Catholic. It's a big deal. So that's what Candace is saying, that she's had many talks with Charlie. She's known Charlie. Charlie was telling her that he wanted out. He wanted out of, he didn't necessarily believe the way he was teaching anymore. But he didn't own himself anymore. He was owned by the company and the people who put in money into the company and the people around the world who supported him for all them years and now kind of owned him and owned his voice. Y'all, that's a real thing. It really, really does happen. We see it all the time in different industries, even in children. We see it all the time. And what Candace is putting out here now is that Charlie was changing and he was murdered by, now she wasn't saying that the gunman didn't take his life. I didn't see that part, but she believes him to be behind the people that are behind the murder are people the people that he was trying to get away from, because his faith was changing. His belief system was changing. Whether that's true, I don't know. But this girl right here, y'all, she said she's got evidence. And she said, well, let's just see what she says.
But Xavier Poussard,
No.
to those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. I
have to stop it right there because I should have looked that up. I don't know what she means by shill. If you guys know if that is some kind of derogatory, because this is the way that I'm thinking of it. I forgot to look it up to back myself up. The way that I'm thinking that she is using the word shill is a derogatory term for someone who is of the Jewish faith. Am I correct? Does anybody know? I don't think Lulu's in here. I'll look that up as we listen further to this.
There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay. And I want you guys to understand this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now. Don't do it. Okay. Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair. Okay. Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. To those of you who think that you.
All right. So I just looked it up. It says, I just put in, what is a shill? Because that's what she said. Don't think you're going to put a shill in his chair. She said a lot of other stuff too, but a shill is an accomplice of a hawker, gambler, or swindler who acts as an enthusiastic customer to entice or encourage others. Act or work as a shill. Oh, well, okay. All right. So in other words, put someone there just as they're facing, kind of like what I believe that we did with Biden. We didn't. I didn't do it. But he, yeah. Anyways, in
May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Charlie, from a month ago, speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under, because I think that will also help to further contextualize this.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of over. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb. And he was under an increasing amount of pressure, not just people telling him, oh, well, I'm upset with who you're inviting, but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but But it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen. In May, Charlie was concerned about Israel. Bibi Netanyahu, in that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons. He had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's thoughts, Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. He was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment. Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. Another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there if you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please. He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused. Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. Bibi Netanyahu in that phone call, what took place was...
All right. Listen, I don't know if that helps you in any way. I don't know if that disturbs you in any way. I'm disturbed. Because up until I saw that, I didn't just only look at, I looked at a lot of Charlie Kirk's videos where he is, at his round tables and debating and on the colleges and things like that. I wanted to hear what he said. And I mean, he was somebody I probably would have listened to every now and then. There were things I liked, more things I liked than didn't like, but my spirit was like, on some of the stuff. And you have to listen to your spirit when it's going, you got to listen to that. But anyways, I also went to, people who supported Charlie and listened to their thoughts on it. And then I, listen to people who just, and I think what it does boil down to is just people being butthurt, to tell you the truth, over, as far as I can see now, butthurt over the fact that there's this guy that's going around and saying, hey, if you believe in same-sex marriage, you're wrong. If you believe in abortion, you're wrong. If you believe, people don't want to hear that crap. We're so used to hearing love, love, love you know, love is love, and it's your body, and it's this and that and the other. And the people like me who don't believe in it, we're just supposed to swallow it and walk away and don't say nothing to offend anybody. Well, here's this Charlie Kirk. No, that was my mother's son, my mother's firstborn's name, Kirk. I don't know why I can't say it. But anyways, here's Charlie Kirk that says, I'm not shutting up. Y'all could just swallow it and walk away, but I have just as much right to say something as they do to say something. I mean, I can get behind that, and I can dig that. But after listening to that whole live with Candace Owens, and like I said, there's some things she says that I dig. There's some things that she says, and I'm just like, where's your fucking brain? What happened to you? I mean, you shit on yourself. So, but it still made me think of what people who start dealing with a lot of money, a lot of notoriety, and a really big mouth, they don't just answer to themselves anymore. They answer to the big man with the deep pockets. So, I mean, Candace Owens could be right. Charlie could have felt very much intimidated and bullied into speaking about something that he necessarily did not believe in anymore. But that's where the money was, and he felt like if he didn't, then they would either ruin him or worse. But she could also just as well be right, and this person that's in prison or in jail right now for shooting him, which I do believe is the one that shot him, got him first before he was able to come out and say, look, you guys, I'm leaving Turning Point USA or whatever it is. My views have changed, but the world's not like a lot of us that'll sit back and go, kudos to you, like, do your thing, do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's your right as an American. You have the right. You know what I mean? Did a shooter get pissed off and get a hold of him before the guys with the big money did? Was there a plan out there to get him? At this point, I do not believe that the people with the deep pockets who helped Charlie with this ministry or whatever he was doing, I don't believe that they right now are behind any of what happened to him on the 10th. I just don't. Was there a plan? I don't know, and maybe we'll never know. Who knows? But I'm willing to explore it, and I'm willing to explore it with you, and I'm going to keep digging into it. I'm going to keep listening. But as it stands right now, I think we got the right person. I think he did it because of his lifestyle, and he felt shamed, and nobody likes to be talked about. And maybe he wasn't called out by name, but his lifestyle and his the way that he lives his life, you know, what's being taught is wrong all over campuses. So maybe he just got him first. And maybe the people who Candace Owens says that she will expose if such and such happens, maybe she's just wrong. Maybe she's wrong. Maybe she's reading it wrong. But for now, I'm going to stand on the side of just what I told you guys. I believe they've got the right guy. I believe that that he killed for his own purposes. And what was going on behind the scenes with Charlie, I don't think any of us will ever know. I just don't. I think I hope Candace is praying for her own safety because that's, I mean, you got to be pretty ballsy to go up against some people, and people get killed for less in our country. Thank God she's living over there in the UK. But in our country, you can be killed for staring at somebody wrong, you know, or for sitting on a train right in front of them. You know, we just, it's just what we do around here. But I would be very careful. Now, do I think people should be silenced? No. If it's something you believe in, I think you should stand up loud and proud. You know, I got to tell y'all this. I want to read you something personal. I've never done this before, but I'm gonna, because this meant so much to me. All right. So when this first happened, we have a family chat like every other family does, no big deal. The men all started. I think us girls were all sitting back going, who the hell are they talking about? You know, we don't know. We'll just let them deal with it. And the way that they were all talking, none of us girls wanted to get involved, so we just let them all talk. Well, then we, you know, got into it, figured out who they were talking about, why they were talking, and finally saw the video and was like, oh my God, that's terrible. No matter who it is, it's freaking terrible. And then when they put out the pictures, that's when my baby Chow, who's 22 years old, and I had no clue that Charlie Kirk had such a big impact on his life. It's amazing what you know about your kids and you don't know. And I thought I knew everything just about. But after when they first came out with the first presser and they put out the video, the first pictures that went out, my baby child sent me this message on Thursday and it said, they have nothing. Dropped from at least 10 feet up and runs away like it was a little jump. Not American, not amateur. And I said to him, Dad says he is not professional though, because if it was a professional, he wouldn't have had to run so hard and leave all the clues. And my baby child said, clues that were left for a reason, to throw LEO off, law enforcement agencies or whatever. That's what LEO is, law enforcement officers. 2 people immediately said, I'm the shooter, which led him to go. And he's not in the country anymore. He's where he came from. And then Leanie being Leanie, I don't think I spelled this word right, but you know those people who play parquet or where they jump from buildings to buildings and do these flips and stuff. So I was trying to be funny and make my boy laugh because I knew he was hurting. He didn't even acknowledge that. He didn't acknowledge my funny little thing there. So when I realized he wasn't going to answer that, I said, wow, great observation. I said, but we got Saddam Hussein. And he said, that's because certain people didn't mind us getting him. Nothing happens by chance anymore. And I said, true. Then on Friday, when they came out and announced that they had made an arrest, my baby sends me this message at 10:21 a.m. They found their Lee Harvey Oswald. Glad most people can relax now. Y'all, that broke my heart for my kid. But I understood him because I know how he thinks. I know that he sees past the smoke screens. I know that he just researches and digs and digs and digs. You know what I mean? And he never takes anything at face value. He just doesn't. And so down at the bottom, he gave me some other words about who he thought it was that was behind it, not, not so much the killer. And I said, I told him I would research what all information he was giving me. And he said, you won't like the idea of government who called the hit, but there's another common denominator. And unfortunately, I have to believe that now. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I knew he was in deep, and I knew that he knew way much more than I did because, I mean, this is his generation. He knew the guy. He knew all the players, blah, blah, blah. And this is what I said to him. I said, just be careful speaking loudly. Do you want to know what my son said? My baby. I couldn't have been more proud of his comeback to his mama saying, be careful of speaking loudly, because I knew he was speaking against either my nation or another nation. And it makes me fearful. Hold on, I'm bringing it up. So when I said to him, just be careful speaking loudly, all he put in the chat was John 15:18-21. And I just brought it up because I wanted to read to you what my son sent me, and I couldn't believe it. I was floored. This is from the New International Version. Verse 15, it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is a gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be made even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain on the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. And then it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, it just gives different different biblical, like the King James Version states it one way, the New International Version will say it the other way, but they're both saying the same thing. They're just putting it in different terms, right? So that's what it gives. And then scripture number 18 says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember what I have told you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecute me, they will persecute you also. If they obey my teaching, they will obey yours also. If they treat you this way because of my name, for they do not know the one who sent me, if I had not come and spoken to them, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates the Father as well. If I had not done among them the works no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. As it is, they have seen, and yet they have hated both me and my Father. But this is to fulfill what is written in their law. They hated me without reason. That is what my son, my 22-year-old son, sent to me. No, Mom, be quiet. No, Mom, you got it all wrong. No, Mom, I can't be silent. No, Mom, I will not hinder God's work in my life. Or, yeah, Mom, I know you're scared for me, so I'll just be careful who I speak to. No. My 22-year-old kid just put a scripture in chat to me. Basically, rebuking me for trying to silence the God in him. And if you don't think that's powerful, y'all, you need to check yourselves. Because sometimes we will learn, no matter how old we are, no matter how old you get, sometimes the biggest lessons you can learn is from the mouth of a child. Even today, I learned something from my kids. I have taught my kids their whole lives, be who you are. Be proud of your faith. Be proud of a God that saved you so you could get to heaven. Don't back down to people. Say no when you're supposed to say no, and say it very loud. And even if you're the only one in the back of the room that says yes, say it loud, because you're a leader and people will follow you. You're a born leader. In the same turn, because my fear of what just happened, and my son was telling me that his faith teaches him that every man should be able to not feel fear when speaking what they believe to be the truth, not be so scared of somebody's going to put a bullet in them or a knife or anything else, that men fought and died for this country so that we can live exactly this way, when all he says to me is the scripture that he won't be silenced. Y'all, that's powerful. That is so powerful. I'm grateful that somewhere along the line in this universe, whether it was me, whether it was Charlie Kirk, whether it was my beefcake, whether it was his older siblings, whether it was a Sunday school teacher or a math teacher, whoever it was that made that stick with my kid, that no matter what, don't be afraid. Stand up always for what's right and speak it. Because people are sure standing up for what's wrong and speaking it. And they have no problems doing it. Even if it means that you die a martyr, or you're going to have to give up your life for your belief is still worth being talked about, no matter what it is. I was blown away, you guys. And after he said that to me, that's when I dug deep into this. And I don't know that I'll continue. It's not going to be a Koberger thing. I'm not coming on here every Wednesday and talking about new this or new that. I might do just court case, whenever he shows up to court, because I really like watching those. I'm going to watch them anyways. Hell, I might watch them with you guys. But, this is, I don't know enough about the world stage of politics. And I'm a little uncomfortable with where this is setting at, I'm a little uncomfortable with it. So I don't want to mislead anybody in my lack of knowledge and lack of faith towards it. So this isn't going to be another true crime. Let's get it together. This is just something that I wanted to share with you because, usually people believe one way or another. And for me, I had to look at it like, no, there's three different scenarios here. And one of them is correct. One is that Tyler Robinson acted on his own hate. The other one is Tyler Robinson acted on his hate, but there were other people in the background that were going to do something, whether it's take his life or destroy him or whatever. Or it was the will of God. Every one of us are on this earth for a purpose. And sometimes I don't think some people never figure out their purpose, and I believe you don't find out until some people know their purpose straight out, and I'm jealous of those people. But there are some people like me that don't know their purpose for being on earth, and we're always looking for a damn purpose. And it's just not going to be revealed until we get to heaven, I believe. I just think God's going to be like, you're so blind, Leanie, like you didn't even see that person or that person, you know? And I believe once we have fulfilled a purpose, that we're gone. That's it. That's what I believe. So it could have just been the will of God that, yes, he was taken in an evil way, but that was the end of his purpose, because this past Sunday, baby child texted his dad, and he said, the church is, and he goes to a bigger sort of church that mainly just college. He goes over by where the college is. College kids go to, and it's about, he said it's usually about half to 3/4 full, you know. And he texted his dad Sunday morning. He said, it's standing room only in here. He said, all of us college students are up against the wall and letting the older people, our parents' age and older, sit in the seats because there's not enough room for all of us in this church. Y'all, listen, for my kid and for me, that just means they can shut your voice up. They can silence you. They can put you 6 feet below. But what you have taught stays. So whether you're teaching hate or you're teaching love, if you're teaching Jesus or you're teaching the devil, whatever it is, it stays here. And new trees are born from it. And I think that's exactly what Baby Chow was trying to say of me. That the tree bears fruit, drops the fruit, another tree grows. You know? And I talked about that on one of my lives just recently, about the bearing of fruit, what kind of fruit you bear. Anyways, I didn't mean to get all sentimental on you guys, but I at the end of there, I just had to tell you how it's impacted Baby Chow and how he's looking at it with so much positivity that, yes, even though it's affected him greatly about Charlie dying, he actually is seeing so much come of Charlie's life. More is coming out of Charlie's life than what his death will ever bring. And I think that's to be said, hopefully, of all of us, of you and of me, that whatever came out in my life was much more important and outshines definitely whatever came out in my death, or what will. Anyways, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate you guys be here. Do me a big favor. You guys hit the like or the not like. The thumbs up, the thumbs down, it matters not to me. Just let the algorithm know that you interacted with this channel, and I appreciate it so much. I thank you to the mods who are always here and always keeping the chat happy and going and a comfortable place to hang out. Thank you to the Godfather for coming in and giving some wisdom to us. Wild Angel, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you to those that just sat in the bushes and listened. I appreciate you guys so much. And to the channel members, thank you for helping me pay the bills around here. Listen, it's not free to go live on StreamYard. And because of your generosity becoming a member, and because of those that send me a Cash App every now and then, I'm able to pay StreamYard, and I thank you for that, so I can keep going live. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all be good or be good at it. If you can't be good at it, y'all know what to do. Turn on those cameras and send me some video because I need content. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.